At the time, I was afraid of people thinking that I didn't have the answers and that I didn't know my stuff. It would have felt like admission of failure, which at the end of the day, this is probably what this video is. Hi guys, my name is Tito, and some of you may know me as somebody who used to make personal finance videos on this personal finance channel, but I haven't been doing that for a while. And in fact, that's what I want to talk about in this video. Why I haven't been consistently making personal finance videos on this channel for the past 4 years, basically since the pandemic. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a while, and I've gotten cold feet several times, but now at the midpoint of 2024, I've decided to grab the bull by the horns. This video will also be broken down into like 5 different segments. There will be timestamps, and the timestamps should also be showing on the screen to guide you. Okay, that said, let's begin. Why I've been away. 2020 was a wild time, and in fact, so was 2021. In fact, the whole lockdown and pandemic period, right? Markets crashed, lots of people and businesses lost money. We're all just kind of lost as to when we're going to come out of this thing and how we're all going to recover. And for me as a personal finance YouTuber, I too was kind of lost. I didn't know what to say each time I turned on the camera, and I didn't want to come online and speculate regarding when markets would recover, regarding whether or not people's investments were safe. There was just so much uncertainty in 2020 and 2021. And something else that happened was in agri-tech in Nigeria was quite big. From 2018, 2019 into like 2020, I made a few videos about agri-tech, and I supported a few, particularly agro partnerships and farm sponsor, and I had money in those in some of their investments. But sadly, those investments or those companies did not survive the pandemic. They've now gone under, and even generally, agri-tech is not a thing anymore. So I was a victim of that. I lost lots of money, and as somebody who really believed in that, I lost confidence in my own abilities to even speak on what is a good investment and what isn't a good investment. So I lost confidence as well. So basically, coming on camera to talk felt like I'd have to do a lot of apologizing and explaining and speculating, and I didn't want to. It would have felt like admission of failure, which at the end of the day, this is probably what this video is. But at the time, like I said, so much uncertainty, and I honestly did not know what to say each time I turned on the camera. So I just waited it out, and days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, and months have turned into years. So that's why I've been away for so long. What happened as a result? As a result of the events of 2020 and 2021, my channel got demonetized. You see, I was putting out fewer and fewer videos each year since 2020. In 2020, I put out 30 personal finance videos. In 2021, I put out 19 personal finance videos. In 2022, I only put out 8 personal finance videos here on YouTube. And in 2023, last year, I only put out 1 personal finance video. YouTube noticed, and they sent me an email, and they told me that I have 1 month to get back on track and to meet up with the requirements to remain on the YouTube partnership program. If I don't keep up, or if I don't meet the requirements within that 1 month, my channel will get demonetized. And sure enough, I didn't meet up within that 1 month, and my channel got demonetized, I believe, in September of 2023. So this channel is currently demonetized, and I'm trying to get back to being monetized, and I'll talk more about that towards the end of this video, essentially. So that happened. What else happened as a result? I wasn't saving or investing as much. You see, with the events of 2020, there's been global inflation. Cost of living has been going through the roof. I'm sure you guys know this. And when that happens, people aren't really thinking much or as much about saving or investing, because what we're earning, and you'll probably attest to this, has been barely enough to get us by, to keep up with our cost of living, right? And month after month, it feels like there's very little left to put into savings or investing. And I suffered this as well. So I wasn't saving or investing, and I wasn't honestly thinking about that stuff much from 2020 up until probably earlier on this year. I did, however, double down on my other channel. So throughout the 4-year period, it's not as if I wasn't making videos at all. I was making videos, but on my other YouTube channel called Tito's Second Channel, where I review Nollywood movies. Please feel free to check it out. Feel free to subscribe there as well. I'd really appreciate it, in fact. So over there, I was putting out videos. I was reviewing Nollywood films, and it was going okay, but it was nothing compared to what I used to experience here on this channel. Yeah, so those are the things that happened as a result of the events of 2020 and 2021. What was I afraid of? At the time, I was afraid of people thinking that I didn't have the answers and that I didn't know my stuff. Because remember, back in 2020 and 2021, there was so much uncertainty. But the thing is, I thought I was the only one who didn't have the answers. I didn't know that no one had the answers. I mean, who do you know who correctly predicted the events of 2020 or even the aftermath of 2020? No one did. And I didn't want to come online and speculate and do guesswork, because that could have been dangerous. Even though lots of YouTubers in the financial space do that, I didn't want to be one of those people, right? Looking back now, like I said, lots of us didn't have the answers. Secondly, I was afraid of low views, because post 2021, the views across board for personal finance YouTubers kind of really reduced, because lots of people were not really checking for personal finance content. People were stressed out and people didn't want to be thinking about money that much. And like I said, they didn't have that much money in their pockets to put into investing. So people weren't watching personal finance content that much. And as a result, lots of personal finance YouTubers were experiencing low views. I didn't clock this back then. I thought that if I had continued putting out videos, that I would have just gotten low views because I didn't know what I was talking about. So regardless, I was just scared of low views, which is kind of what made me freeze and stop making personal finance videos for a long period of time. What I learned that really and truly, economies really do exist in seasons and in cycles. There are periods of boom and there are periods of bust. And people like Warren Buffett, people who know a lot about investing, they say things like this all the time. But I think for many of us in millennials and Gen Zs, the events of 2020 was the first time that we experienced a market crash. And as a result, lots of people panicked. But people like Warren Buffett have seen this type of thing for decades, right? And they know that the market always recovers. So I learned that these things happen. You know, there'll be times when the market is up and there'll be times when the market is down. And because you're down today doesn't mean that you won't be up tomorrow. I also learned that it's not good to stay out of the game for too long. I stayed away from my personal finance channel for way too long. And when you stay away from something too long, it's always hard to get back in the game. And that's something that I suffered. So going forward with this channel and with other things, if I do take a break, I'll make sure that I'm not taking that break for too long. I also learned that recessions and things like recessions, even though they're terrible and there's lots of doom and gloom, they also have opportunities within them. Because, I mean, from 2020, lots of companies did really well, and even some individuals did really well. Look at the TikToker Cabby. He really blew up in 2020 and is still going strong. Look at Zoom, that is essentially the bedrock of working from home these days, right? And look at TikTok. Even TikTok as well really blew up in 2020. So the pandemic did have its success stories. And that taught me that even when things look really dire and really terrible, there are still opportunities to be exploited in such situations. Finally, I learned that recessions and things like recessions or tough times essentially really do reveal the strong players. Because if a few companies didn't make it through the events of 2020 and 2021, but many companies did. And some of the companies that survived were, it was surprising to me that they did survive. And many of them were brick and mortar companies or companies that had been around for decades and decades. So things like recessions do reveal the strong players and the people who are prepared for tough times like the ones that we faced in 2020. What's the way forward? My next move is to get my channel remonetized, and that will mean getting you guys to watch more of my videos, but not just my old videos. I'm going to be putting out new content. I'm back for real, right? I'm going to be releasing new videos, more interesting and engaging videos. I'm going to diversify my content. I'm not going to limit myself to the type of things I was doing before in the personal finance space. I will still stick to personal finance, but I realize that there's so many things within personal finance or just money generally that I can talk about. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to try and be more creative with my content as well. So yeah, these are the changes that I'm going to implement now that I'm back to making personal finance content. And I will try my best to be consistent, at least one video a week. So these are all the things I'm going to try and do to try and get you guys engaged, to try and get you guys to watch my content and to get you guys to subscribe, so that, you know, the channel can be remonetized when I'm eligible to apply for the YouTube, or reapply rather, for the YouTube partnership program. So that's the plan. Fingers crossed, by the end of the year, I'll be back with good news. But I can't do it alone. I need you guys to. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's good to be back, and I look forward to all the financial education that I'm going to be sharing here and the things I'm going to be learning as well along the way. Thanks, guys. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next week. Take care.